Hola, mi gente. Joe Barreto back with you at the Credit Card Connection. I'm so glad you can join me. Well, mi gente, as you saw on the thumbnail, unfortunately, this is what happened to me last week. Um, Saturday night, November 9th, at about 9 something in the evening, I started to get a lot of alerts on my phone. First and foremost from LifeLock by Norton, then by CreditWise, Credit Karma, Nerd Wallet, and so on, Experian, TransUnion, you name it, the phone would not stop beeping. Today, I'm going to tell you what happened to me, how I'm dealing with it, what I did to try to correct it, and what you should do going forward, especially now during this time of the year. So, mi gente, as you can see, I have a different setup here. I'm trying to record things a little differently and try to modernize my stuff and bring us things instead of just overlays that I usually do. So I hope you like it. So sit back, relax, hit that like button, and let's jump into it. So, like I said last Saturday night, November 9th, I start getting these alerts. Now, normally, I expect alerts if I'm applying for a card because I know I'm going to get a hard inquiry, unless it's a card that I already have, like Amex, where I know that they're not going to do a hard inquiry. They're going to do a soft pull. I normally won't get those, um, you know, i- inquiries and reports on my phone and stuff like that. It won't activate anything like that. But this was weird because I hadn't applied for anything and things just started going off. So I noticed that on one of them it said Venmo. So at the same time, I got a notification on my email. So I go into my email and this is what I get. Okay. I'm going to bring this up. You're approved for a $5,000 temporary credit limit, a $10,000 overall limit, $1,000 cash advance limit, and I can use up to $5,000 that same day with my virtual credit card number. Now, normally I would have been happy and said, "Oh my God, this is so cool. I got approved. I can instantly use it if I wanted to use it." The thing is, I never applied for this. I didn't put any information in. I didn't put in my social. I didn't do any of this. It just came up like literally, as you can see, you're approved. Okay. And this was my concern. I said, something is wrong here. So immediately I said, "Oh my God, let me see. Maybe it was an error." So I go into the Venmo app and I start looking through, and all my information is there. And now the only thing I had for Venmo, like everybody else, was just a Venmo app to transfer money if you're going out, or if you want to send somebody money and they don't have Zelle or they don't have PayPal, you use Venmo, right? So that's the only thing I ever used Venmo for in my life. I had the app, and that was to either pay people for services if they use Venmo, or to just transfer money to people and stuff like that. Other than that, no credit card, nothing else. There was no need for me to get this credit card. There was nothing in it that really caught my attention. But to show you, I mean, that's a big credit line for something, especially that I did not apply for. So now, what did I do after that? So, what I ended up doing was I said, okay, I got to find out how I can get in touch with Venmo. Now, Venmo is run through the bank that has Venmo's, um, finances is Synchrony. So I looked out, reached out to Synchrony, and it was already late in the evening. So I got a customer service rep, and they were very nice. I'm going to be honest with you. I got a customer service rep out of the country, and they said, "Look, you know, we see that the application was in. We see that the card was approved." I said, "I never applied for it." So they automatically canceled the card on the spot. So all I had to give them was my name, my address, and things like that. I did not even have to give them my social. I gave them the last four. And for some reason, everything was there. So she said, "Okay, I'm going to list this as fraud, and I'm going to contact the credit bureaus on your behalf, and I'm going to shut down the account." I immediately then got an email from Venmo saying that not only was the credit card canceled, but the Venmo account itself is unusable, that there was some sort of activity that was there that I hadn't authorized, which I thought was good. That was actually pretty good and pretty quick the way they went about it. So since that was a Saturday, I knew I really wasn't going to get anybody that can make any real decisions or, bring me up to speed. Sunday, I knew that was going to be the same thing. So Monday, I reached out and contacted LifeLock. I had already done the notification on the LifeLock app telling them, look, I didn't apply for this card. This looks like it's fraud. So again, it was the weekend. It was already after hours. So Monday, I got to speak to someone. And what they did was pretty cool. And I want you guys to really take note of this. You don't have to necessarily do this with LifeLock, but this is how it works with them. They asked me if I'd reach out to the credit card company, which I did. I had already told them what they told me they had done in their steps, which was get, notification to out the credit bureaus that was an attempt to open up a card, that it was fraud. They canceled the card and they notified, the credit bureaus that this was not on me. Now, I wanted to make sure that that was the case. So what LifeLock did was they contacted Synchrony Bank, spoke to a credit fraud personnel there at Synchrony Bank, had us on a three-way call. And what was cool was that they were actually like my advocate. I really didn't even have to say much. They asked all the questions on my behalf. And they said, look, what did you guys do so far to fix this? And they told them immediately we shut down the card. Immediately we froze the account. He can't access the app just to make sure no one else has access to it. And they went back and forth for about 20 minutes, believe it or not. Also, then the LifeLock representative said, look, um, is Mr. Barreto still, is his name cleared? Is his account cleared? Is he responsible for any charges? They said, no, there's no charges on the card. It was shut down instantly. We contacted the credit bureaus, and it takes about 30 to 60 days for them to remove that hard inquiry from the account because it was done fraudulently. So that was amazing. I was shocked at how quickly they did that. I've never dealt with Synchrony customer service or Venmo or anything like that because I've never had a need to. But I can tell you that they actually worked really well. So going forward, if Venmo is a card or another card through Synchrony that you want to try, I can tell you the customer service rep was actually excellent. But this is what I ended up getting yesterday. And this is why I waited to record this video on Sunday. Today's the 17th. But this is a letter that they sent me yesterday. And as you can see, I already had an account number ending in 1978. And it says, we understand that experiencing fraud can be upsetting, and we want to ensure that Synchrony Fraud Team is here to help. Here's what we've done. Immediately close the account, notified the major credit bureaus, directed Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, and Innovis. I never even knew about Innovis. To remove the account from the credit card report. And it says, please note that it can take the credit bureaus up to 60 days to complete the process. They've also initiated an investigation and flagged my information in their system. This should prevent additional accounts from being opened in my name without additional verification. And then it also offers what I should do, which I did, which is contact the credit bureaus, review your credit report to find out if there's any other unauthorized accounts open. Consider adding a free fraud alert to your credit file, and visit identitytheft.gov, which is the federal government's one-stop resource to identify theft victims. So, they told me it would take the 30 to 60 days, which I thought was pretty, good of them to tell me and notify me. This is what I should have done, guys. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm always transparent here. I posted this on the Discords with Anthony Venture and with the community Discord. And everybody was like, bro, you didn't have your credit frozen? And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't freeze the credit because I do constant checks of my credit daily, actually, so that I can see if there's something that's a pre-approval, if there's something else. And it's all information for me so that I can bring it here. I should have known better. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys to do. And I know it's kind of a pain. Go to Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, and now Innovis. I've never tried, but I'm going to look into that and see if you can put a credit freeze. Literally, once you open up an account with them, and the accounts are free, you go in and you toggle a switch online, and you go from freeze to unfreeze, or from lock to unlock. And you want to lock it if you're not going to apply for any kind of credit anytime soon, or mortgage or anything else, because what's going to happen is if you try to apply for even a pre-approval, they're not going to be able to give you pre-approvals if your credit is frozen or locked. Okay. That's one of the reasons why, and the only reason why I never had mine locked. But had I had it locked, this technically should not have happened, because then they would not have had access to open up an account, because they would have not been able to pull from any of those credit bureaus to see if I would have been able to get this card or not. So, what I want you guys to do, because now it's November, middle of November, you're going to get bombarded for the next 2 months with different pre-approvals, different mailings, different offers, and they're getting very sneaky about it. And that's actually what the person from LifeLock told me as well. So you should take note of this. They actually told me that they're so smart right now that they're sending text links that look like they're from credit cards that you might have. And if you click on the link, it'll take you automatically to a page that's already been pre-approved, and basically you're hitting submit to apply for the card. I didn't even know that existed, but she said, yeah, that's one of the reasons why, it's that she says, whenever you get a text from someone that you don't know or from a number that you've never seen, even if they claim to be a legit business card or a personal card or a business card, Amex, Chase, Wells Fargo, Capital One, Bank of America, whatever, Discover, don't click those links, especially if they're coming through a text. And especially if you have not applied or we're not looking to apply for a card. Because sometimes we forget, if we're on our phone, we might have done an application link, let's say through Credit Karma or one of the other or the points guide where they tell you card match tools, things like that. And you got to be careful. You got to, when you're doing these things, it's so easy, especially on your phone, to just keep clicking and moving along the process, not knowing if you're going to end up getting an application for a credit card that you didn't want. Maybe you just wanted to find out information. So, mi gente, as you can see, if you don't want any of this to ever show up in your mailbox, that you were approved for something, especially with such a big credit line, that could really do damage to you if somebody takes advantage and makes those charges against you. So you want to make sure that you're protected. And the best way to protect yourself is make sure you always check your credit report. Make sure you have them frozen if you're not going to apply for anything in the interim. Try to always have these credit monitoring, even if you get letters now. And sometimes we're so used to seeing them where they say, hey, there was a data breach and you have your Verizon account and that showed up somewhere. We're offering you free service or free monitoring service. Take advantage of that. Really, it doesn't cost you anything. It's just another layer of protection, but at least it will allow you to avoid what I went through last week, which was I was really sweating it out. Not so much the amount that was out there, but also the inquiries, because you know how it is, especially if you're looking in this credit card space where we're constantly applying and looking and this and that. Every inquiry hurts your score, and then it hurts with certain banks more than others. you know Capital One and Chase, for example, that they're very credit inquiry sensitive. So, mi gente, I hope you enjoyed this. I didn't enjoy going through it, but I'm enjoying bringing you the information for it. But like always, like I always in my videos, you can be anywhere else. You chose to be here. But more than anything else, mi gente, I appreciate you for giving me the privilege of your time. Until next time, mi gente, take care.